welcome to another episode of the Keeping It Grimy podcast. This is number 6 now. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed and left all the cool comments on the YouTube videos. If you didn't know, they're on Spotify and SoundCloud as well. And we are working to get them on iTunes, so you'll be able to listen to them as audio on your travels. But if you're watching the video, thank you very much. Leave a comment, sub up the channel, follow and all that good stuff. Today, we're switching up a little bit. We did speak to Ruki before. He was our first non-MC on the podcast. But the point of this podcast was really for me to just talk to my mates for a bit. Yeah, man. About like grime and all kinds of other stuff as well. But obviously, usually it's always the MCs that get all the shine.
Yeah, man, you gotta do the.
But there's loads of
DJs.
Yeah, there's loads of other people that
producers.
make the world go round, isn't it?
Yeah, man, come on.
And today we're talking to Mr. Stephen C, aka Cheeky, the man who makes the wheels go round of Eskimo Dance. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, man, I'm alright. You at?
I am good. I'm good. We are here in a secret location in South London. You've made me come across the river to see you today.
Man. Come on, man. South, man. It's convenient.
We're fresh off the back of the first Eskimo Dance in Printworks as well, which was sick.
Yeah,
I had a great time. How was it for you?
You know what? Yeah, that was like visually, that show was up there, like with everything we've done. I don't think I've seen a show that good since Wembley. Like it was up there, like energy was there, like it was good to pull off. It like proved the point, because I think before this, everyone was like Grime's dead. Like everyone was saying it, even people within it are saying Grime's dead, and that shows that if that number of people come out to Eskimo Dance that day, it's never dead.
And that's like is that the biggest venue in London now? Dance venue?
Yeah, it is
venue?
now.
Yeah.
I know London's getting bad, you know, for venues.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. There's a lot of stuff to talk about and cover. But yeah, I just wanted to say, obviously, Eskimo Dance at Printworks, the first one at Printworks, it was absolutely sick, sold out in the end. 3,000 crazy grime fans in there. And you had a sick lineup, different format as well.
Yeah, man, tried a different format.
Different,
yeah, man, I didn't want to do the same. I kind of feel with Eskimo Dance, it's been done already. Everything's been done. Like, I've gone back. Last year, we went to Watford, did the original format from the very, very beginning. In the previous times, we've done formats of people doing live PAs and sets. I kind of feel this format kind of was a bit more fun. Everyone like taking in turns, going back to back. I feel like it was a good show. Like, no one really knew what to expect, and there wasn't any order like for headlining. Like, it didn't matter who was going next.
Yeah, you kind of wanted to get that sort of stage show presence of people running out and performing some of their hits and keeping it moving. It's important to keep the crowd like engaged and interested, because everyone's got such short attention spans nowadays when they're out there in the world. It's crazy.
That's where you DJs come in. Yeah, that's the truth. See, like that's the deep. Like when you think about it, obviously the MCs, there's only so much they're gonna want to hear someone spitting in a rave. Like really and truly, I kind of try and break up the sets with sick DJs that I know is gonna entertain the ravers and make them dance, make them move. Kind of feel that's important.
Yeah, definitely. And you vary up the music as well, policies on there, which kind of people forget was always a part of Eskimo Dance as well.
Yeah, man. When it started at originally, before I took it on in 2012, like it was like R&B, hip hop, bashment until the final hour. So a lot of people who go now would never have experienced that. They wouldn't have a clue that that's what used to happen. So it's important to try and at least get some different genres of music going on and not just hear the same thing for 6 hours. And there's so much music that's
popping here in the UK as well right now.
It's UK's time right now. So even though it's not grime, give it a little shine. Let people a little shake a leg in that.
Definitely. You said you took over in 2012. There'll be a lot of people watching that don't. Well, there'll be a lot of people that are watching that don't know who you are, for a start, because you are the man behind the scenes. But there'll definitely be a lot of people that don't realise that that obviously you didn't found Eskimo Dance, and that it went on a hiatus for a while as well, and you were the person to bring it back. So you brought it back in 2012. That was at like 02, right?
Yeah, man, proud to.
How did that come about?
You know, it is, yeah. Sometimes I wake up with some wild ideas. And I think I just woke up one day and I rang Will and said, yo, let's bring it back. that was basically it. I set the wheels in motion after that. As soon as he said yeah to my crazy idea, the rest was history, really.
So you already putting on events though, weren't you?
Yeah, man, I was just doing raves. I was doing a couple house raves, a couple like commercial, island, European things. And then by then I was like, yeah, it's time. Let's bring grime back.
So you started out in grime when you were like, what, 16, 17?
Yeah, early doors, man. That's what I'm
Driving
saying.
around.
Like, you know what it is, yeah? The early grime years might be the most funnest of my years. Like, driving around, selling records at the boot. Like, those are like the early white labels vibe. And then that moved on to CDs. I remember I was going Jetstar and pressing up everyone's CDs of that era.
That's right.
Yeah,
And it
so
moved
like,
into mixtapes, a lot of the records.
yeah, basically mixtape season. And by then, I kind of feel we went into a little quiet zone, but say between about 2009 to like 2012.
It was hard because what was
Yeah.
there to sell? You just literally gone through it.
I
We
feel
were
like
selling white labels.
yeah,
Cool. Then we were selling CDs. All right. I got to do 12 tunes where I used to only have to do 2
yeah,
for the same P as well.
exactly.
And then everyone just clocked onto file sharing and downloading and zip folders and send space links and you send it. And
I feel like that. You know what? Yeah, I feel like that sort of was a detrimental factor to maybe why grime went quiet for a bit before
and then at the
German
same
Whip come
time,
out.
and
Car.
at the same time, there was hardly any events because
Yeah,
it was really difficult to put on events in that time.
trust
grime.
me, it was.
So people, and yourself included, had to go off and find
other
other
stuff.
things to do.
Yeah, we had to find a way to make it work because there was like a broke period of time where a lot of us were figuring out, shit, what are we going to do now? Because it weren't happening. But yeah, that transition period between CD, iTunes was about then, but it wasn't what it was.
But you weren't like,
Weren't what
why
it
were you
was.
buying it on iTunes?
Yeah,
when
you could
just get your
get it for
brethren to
free.
send it to you on MSN Messenger.
That was the problem with music. I'm glad that's fixed now, man, because everyone can come through now and just put out music and make money properly.
Yeah, I
streaming
mean,
and
whether
that.
it's the streaming thing or, you know, on a more direct one, people are selling stuff on Bandcamp. You can do it yourself now through places like Ditto, where you can distribute all your music and get it on the platforms you need to. So,
Man, it's changed in the artist's favour.
yeah, I think it's a tough one, man, because if grime had come around maybe 10 years later, it would have been even bigger because, like, all the stuff we were doing, the infrastructure weren't really in place for it. The industry wasn't there for
It
what
wasn't.
we were doing.
If 2003 was say 2013, just 10 years later, grime will be so massive right now.
Because that's what I always used to say. Oh yeah, grime. There's loads of fans. Everyone's streaming it. It does loads of views on YouTube, but no one buys it. Or no
Yeah.
one buys anything now, music-wise. It's all streams.
So
So.
streams.
And you got people that are, you know, seeing international success.
Exactly.
I think like 90% of the chart numbers comes from streams now.
That's mad, you know.
Yeah.
See, like considering that 10 years before, everyone was bootlegging.
Yeah. Now, obviously, everyone's at uni or on their mobile contracts. They got Spotify Premium, streaming up the music. They're listening to it that way. And yeah, I mean, the race thing was really difficult as well, right? Because obviously, you started out as a DJ,
Yeah.
DJ Cheeky.
Started off as DJ Cheeky. Those are good times, man. I remember driving up the motorway, man. Like back then, no one understands the poverty, man. Like we used
Well,
to drive
is
up the wave.
Is this the broke for grime
Like,
segment?
Like, you know, is
Yes,
this the broke for
man.
grime segment?
This
Yeah.
is the broke for grime
Like, no
segment.
one gets it, man. Like we're talking about big MCs now that are on 6 figures. Like we will drive up the
6 man up in
motorway
the- not even 5-man deep.
Yeah, like
6 man up in
fully, and every man's getting a couple bills each, and
if they're lucky.
they're lucky. And now that I think about it, I'm a promoter now. Those raves were jam.
Yeah, you're doing
So-
the numbers in your head now.
So now people do numbers of me and try and work out what I'm doing, but I can know, like, no matter what happened back then, Jesus, like, their lineups were nothing.
and people were headlining as well. It's
Yeah,
like
like-
you were booking Skepta and Jammer
It was
and
top of the flyer.
Frisco and JME, top of the flyer.
It was mad.
2/5, 4 bills, 5 bills if it was like if it was Christmas or New Year's.
Nah, that's mad. Still,
And there was 2,000 people in that rave, all paying a score. So
basically, when we started, we were all taken advantage of. Basically, that's basically what happened.
well, we're used to turning up to radio and paying
Oh man,
paying to be on radio. So to get paid,
who remembers
to
them
MC,
days?
to get paid to MC,
subs. I remember. Boy,
bruv, to get paid to MC was like the greatest blessing ever.
fucking hell, mate. Times moved on, man. I'm glad though. Times a lot better now for the artists, for the DJs, for everyone, man.
Yeah,
I feel like it's pressed on now. Like the infrastructure that's in place is geared towards the next batch to come through and really try and do something. Like the next batch of talented grime MCs should take it to a different level. In this music now, I kind of feel that what's out there now is kind of like a phase was charting right now, and it's always going to go back to what's real, and grime music is real. Like there's no two ways about it. Like that's been proven over the past 15 years. So when it comes back around, the next batch, they're going to do something special.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be an interesting year this year. I think you've got Jamie doing his Grime MC tour at the moment, and the album's going to come after that. Skepta's got SK Level album, I think, coming out this year. Get's just dropped his project. P Money's got a new project dropping as well, and singles are looking mad off that already. And I think Stormzy's going to drop some new music this year as well. So maybe amongst all of that, there will be a bag of excitement.
That's what it needs.
Top Boy on Netflix. Come on.
Top Boy. I saw the trailer yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to have to rewatch them.
Catch up.
My mind. Yeah, man, I need to rewatch them.
Trust me.
They're not until Netflix. They must be.
I don't know. They might be archived on Netflix.
No, man, they got to be on there, man. I've seen it on there before.
Pretty sure it is. So alongside Eskimo Dance, you run AudioHool. Do you still do Siesta?
You still do Siesta.
Malia, you've been in Malia for a minute now.
Been in Mania since the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very beginning. It was like my second party, believe it or not. It's mad. Right. When I started as a promoter, obviously.
When was this?
2011.
Okay.
Like, I've gone from working in a record shop at 16 and then like being an A&R
What was
scout.
that, Independence?
No, man, it was Release the Groove.
Okay.
Yeah, Release the Groove. Like 03, West End Central to like XL Recordings, A&R scout.
Oh yeah, because that became, was it Igloo? Did you try and make Igloo records?
Nah, it was Avalanche.
Avalanche.
Yeah, off the back of that. And then Avalanche Music Hut, the online shop.
That was it, yeah. Music.
And that was that era of when CDs started to pop. And then everyone was trying to do a little merch, selling merch.
Yeah, because we were just looking
straight
for
out of the
anything
bedroom
to sell, bro.
and that, anything to sell. So obviously I've become the shop for that. So when that was done and we was finished doing our CDs and whatever was going on at the time, they weren't really, I feel like I've done everything within music at that time.
Yeah, you've had
I
a
thought,
go.
Yeah, man. I thought, let me just. Went to a rave and I thought, I could do this, man. Like, I saw a market. I went to a rave and I thought, this rave's dead, man. Like, if I just do this and I do that, put it together, boom. And obviously, the first AudioHool didn't even work, but the second one, that boom and boom put together, and then bam, worked. Just like it worked, just like that.
So you went from 2011 AudioHool to waking up one morning and decide you're going to bring Eskimo Dance back.
Yeah, it was late, 2011. I remember it was like November time.
So you hadn't even been promoting for a year.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't even, it was what, 9 months?
So you'd been doing a bit of house, but you came back home.
Came back home straight away.
What made you want to do the house thing?
In that transition period where I would say everyone was going to do different stuff, those are times where I think Skep was doing Twice as Nice a lot in Ibiza.
Okay.
And them trips were like mental. Like, it got me into house. I didn't like house before that, really. So them trips alone was enough to get me into house music. That's how the house thing come about. Was Ibiza. Ibiza did it.
All right. Yeah, a lot of people listen to house sometimes. Not many people were doing it though, but it was definitely something that was going on.
Yeah, man. As I was
people
going
were
there,
raving to.
I liked it. Like, it was almost like I went there and I thought, bro, this is sick. Like, it's like playing it.
Do you find that you can't help yourself go into things and just analysing and working out how you could do it yourself?
Me?
Yeah. Because that seems to be the case. Like, all of these stories you're telling me, they all seem to be, well, I went there and I can do this and I do this, and like that seems to be the underlying story.
Business mind, man. That's it. I've always had that business mind from day one.
See, because I'm the opposite to you.
Swear.
I'm the opposite. I'm happy just observing and being a fan of it. And that's why I don't make any money.
Possibly, but if that was the case, yeah, I would have jumped on all that other stuff. So it ain't, because the reality is I like house, so I've done house raves.
It needs to be something that you're passionate about.
I need to be passionate about it. Otherwise, I've done a garage, drum and bass, afro, whatever, swing, whatever the hell they call it. I would have done all them things. I don't want to do it. So, truthfully, grime house, sort of like, I actually like both genres. I genuinely do.
And it all kind of came around from the same group of people anyway.
Basically.
Of you just being around and socialising.
Being around both.
Doing the shows. The other cool thing about house, I guess, is it's always there. Like, other genres generally kind of come up and down, and the house is like mad stable.
The reason why I stopped playing grime, is because I felt like at that age, my ear to what I was listening to was slightly changing a bit. I suppose that was in tune with my friends and what we was raving to at the time. So that's where that came about as me being a DJ. And I thought, I don't want to do both. Because I thought, like, I don't want to, like, skip to both. So let me just choose one. And at that time where I did choose one, obviously house was going off. So it was a good time. Like, that was a time where, like, the vocal side was coming through.
You still DJ house now, right?
Yeah, man, I still do it now.
Okay.
Things change, though. It's more, like, gone a bit techno-y and bit different. Like, you had to move with the times, but I know it's different now. But yeah,
you coming out of egg at 7 a.m. and that, yeah?
Oh man, I don't even do them raves no more.
Way too old for that.
Yeah, man, I moved on from that, man.
Leave that to the young people.
I barely stay at my own parties. I late.
Trust me.
Can't do it no more.
Trust me. So yeah, but you still do both in terms of the promotion, though.
Yeah, man.
Everything's going strong, both in both lanes.
Try to, man. Like, I'm a workaholic, so I wake up and I work on a party from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, so much planning. It's all I do now, so it's all I put my energy into. So just keep working on it, keep working, keep trying to get them to the next level, higher and higher, and try and do different things with them and not just do the same thing.
What was it like essentially being the only person putting on parties for like 5 or 6 years in grime? Because no one else was.
It was difficult because I would rather have had 2-3 other grime raves going on in different cities than just being me solo putting on events. Because what happens is those ravers come out once in a blue moon, but they're not your every week raver. So from a business point of view, if you've got a scene and there's loads of stuff going on, more people are going to join onto it. It would have grew had I been joined by more promoters in different places.
We've got a few events happening now.
Yeah, glad.
Grime Originals is going quite well.
Trust me.
And they've been running for, I think, about 2 years now.
Yeah, man. Target started his new one, Grime Kids.
Yeah, he's doing events off the back of that book. Have you read that book, by the way?
I ain't even read it yet, though.
Have you read Will's book?
I'm going to be honest, though. I haven't. I don't like reading, to be honest.
Bro, there's audiobooks of both, you know.
I never knew there's audiobooks of both.
There's audiobooks of both.
Yeah,
Target actually read his, though.
Oh, yeah.
You need to listen to the Wiley one because they got actors in to do voices.
Straight down.
Yeah, and
I'm listening to it on my way home.
My mate showed me the audiobook of me. And I don't
listen to it when I get home.
I don't think the people that did my voice on the Wiley audiobook had ever heard me speak.
No.
I don't think they were showing any of my
Surely
songs.
they should have done that, though.
I mean, I'd have done it if they'd asked me, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, man. Like, why did they just approach everyone?
I don't know. Maybe they thought after asking Will, and
yeah, I hear that.
they moved on. Everyone else was going to be the same.
Everyone else is going to be the same.
What else do you do then? I know you go over the Arsenal every now and then.
Yeah, man. That's important, man. Come on.
What else do you do?
That's it. That's my hobby. I work.
That's all you got the time for, just that and go on Arsenal.
Imagine that. That, aside from family life, being at home, promoter life, DJ life, and football. That's it. That's all I've got time for.
How you feeling the season's going so far? You reckon you get top 4?
Come on. You mad?
Realistically, yeah.
If we don't get top 4, something. We
Man
ain't.
United just lost to Wolves.
We're not gonna melt.
Spurs are playing tonight in that new stadium, and I'm not gonna lie, that stadium's the best stadium in the world.
Oh man, Danny said this to me.
It is. I hate Spurs so much, but
I hate Spurs as well. Like, what?
Lie.
How? What's he got?
It's got everything, bro. It's mad.
Like what?
It's mad.
What's different? Everything. Bro, it's a stadium, bro. You go there, you sit down.
It's like a movie. That stadium's like a movie, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're saying that because it looks nice on the pictures, but I don't feel like it's any different than anything else. What they got that we ain't got?
Bro, they got like their own brewery inside the thing, bro.
So
they got
gives
listen, they got beer.
I don't even drink beer. Imagine that.
They got beer. You look like you drink beer sometimes.
So, so what they got for me?
They got bare different types of food, and they like a finger food.
Who goes?
See up there on the halloumi sticks.
Who goes football and wants to eat? You eat before or after, innit?
Yeah. Well,
that's not like that's
what they want. They want to get your pee.
Yeah, exactly. That's so basically they've got a big money machine going on in the stadium. Hear that? That's not make you the best ground. That's
It's a Nang Stadium still. The views are sick. They got one long cop tier as well. Sick.
Leave them out.
Great views.
Anyway, Spurs have.
The stadium's good. I don't like the team, but the stadium, I have to give all credit due.
They've lost it. They're gonna come 6.
Or Man United and Spurs are fighting each other for who's gonna come 6th, brother.
Yeah. No, don't you think Chelsea?
Chelsea are a little bit stable at the moment.
Nah, man, I feel like they're going to have a wobble any minute.
Yeah, do you know what, brother? All of you's can have a wobble.
Nah,
but
bro.
I, as a West Ham fan, I would love to be in a position to have wobbles because every week's a wobble, mate. Like, wobbling is our standard level.
But you know what you don't need to do, yeah? You don't need to, like... It's hard because I always see West Ham as buying players who were sick in the past. And I kind of feel...
aren't there.
Yeah, they're not there or they're falling off.
I see them looking to buy a player from Villarreal, like scored 2 goals this season or something. Like, it's mad.
Oh, man.
Probably end up paying 30 mil for him and that.
The truth is, yeah, you're not better off, like, with the youth. Like the Declan Rices and that, like, build a team from that. Don't let them go.
But that's hard these days, man, because, like, we were looking at Jack Grealish, right? And he'll probably end up going somewhere for mad P.
That's mad because he's not even good.
He's had 1 season. He's good.
No, man. He ain't world class like that, so he should be going.
The Fulham team's going to get rinsed as well. They just got relegated, innit? So.
Who did they even have? I swear Chambers was there.
Sessegnon. What's the other guy? Oh, my God. My brain's gone.
Brain gone mental.
Oh. Got another midfielder who's good as well. Mitrovic will go. He's not young or British, but yeah, Mitrovic will go as well.
Yeah,
So you don't do nothing other than just watch football. You've got no other hobbies, no other interests.
Come on, watch TV, innit?
You watch what, Netflix?
Come on, Netflix, whatever's on, innit?
Okay.
Box set geezer.
Okay.
Yeah, box
Do you like any other sports?
Not really, man.
No.
No, man. It's not like music where I like 2 things.
Yeah, it's Arsenal.
I'm Arsenal, man, bro. To the end.
You got a season ticket?
Yes, come on.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. Me and Danny, we sit next to each other.
You got too much money, bro.
What? So, no, it's not even expensive, bro.
Getting up that list is Peter.
No, it ain't. You know what? You know how we got it.
To buy out a few people.
We had to basically buy out someone who didn't want to go anymore, and it was free. They didn't want to lose their name on the season ticket, but obviously what we did is we swapped the addresses on it. So basically, it's our season ticket now. Nah, we're not getting it back. They're not There's not getting it back. So, yeah, basically, yeah, go to the Arsenal. It's only like what? It's like $9.85 for the season. It's like bloody £70 a month.
Mental.
Direct debit. It's like going gym. It's a gym membership.
Right, so let's take it all the way back to the start.
To the beginning.
You're 17.
16, you know.
You got your car.
Oh yeah, just got the whip.
What did you have? Golf? Did you have golf?
No, I had a Vauxhall Corsa, you know.
Vauxhall Corsa.
Trees.
The first time I see you was driving around with Titch, I think it was.
Was it Titch? Jesus, man. Spoke to him the other day.
That was the first time I think I met you. That would have been like
04.
04.
It's 04.
So just before I started going to KISS. How did you get into like playing grime?
I was playing grime from school. Yeah, man. Buying vinyls. These days, Independence, Big Apple, Release the Groove, where I started working in the end. Like, they was just going to buy records. Going radio. That was it.
How did you discover it though? Like, was it just what everyone else was listening to in college? Or
Radio. Yeah, man, it was radio. Them early...
What radio are you listening to?
Rinse, Flashback. What was the one? There was another one. Oh, man, it wasn't Choice. What the hell was it called, man? Flashback took over their dial. It was 9-6 something. That's why I thought it was Choice. Anyway, I was just up front. That's what it was.
Okay.
And Delight. Yeah, back then, Bossman was on Delight when he was doing grime.
On Top was around then as well, right?
Yeah. No, On Top was just starting, I think, because I was on Top. So
okay.
I think On Top started when I was a bit older. Like back then, I think it was more Upfront, Rinse, Delight, and the South London MCs, the Centrals, and that.
So what was the South London scene like? Where were people going? Delight obviously was important from garage days because that was basically So Solid station.
Delight and Upfront were like the main ones in South back then.
So when Bossman was on Delight, that was like
it's a big thing.
That was a big deal.
It's a big move when he got onto Delight. I swear he never even had a good time. It was like early mornings.
Was he the biggest DJ in South at that time?
No, it was Essentials used to have another DJ before that. Elsie.
Okay.
Yeah, like between them, they were the biggest in South at the time. Like back then, man, we're just starting like crews and that. Like I remember the first crew I was in was SE4 crew, and then was going radio, like 2GFM I think it was called.
Oh, I've seen that written down.
Yeah, we went on there and then moved on. I've had stints with grime crews.
That was important back then though, because that's
man.
how you cut your teeth. That was like your work.
That's how you got in. Yeah, that's how you got in.
You had to put in your hours, do you know what I mean? Earn your dues.
Trust me.
Pay your subs and get in there.
Oh, I still can't believe that. Man used to pay to go on radio.
For real.
That's mental. As kids, you don't even think nothing of it. You just think, yeah, I want to be on radio. I want to get out there. Right. That experience. You know what? See, if that experience is here today, where do you think, like, say, Stormzy's and the rest of them, their mindset would be?
Well, a lot of kids coming up, they have to pay to get their videos on certain platforms.
Okay.
Well. So it's kind of a similar thing. They definitely pay a lot more than I used to pay for subs anyway.
Yeah, hear that.
Like $2 on that submission fee.
Oh, man. Bloody hell. Posty, mate.
Their different channels have that.
He's doing all right.
It's a standard thing.
Swear down.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Got it from America, mate. They do all that in America first.
Well, at least they've learned from someone, mate.
Yeah,
Earning some
exactly.
money.
We were talking about that before as well, the infrastructure. Obviously, Grime's been around a long time. We could argue like about 17 years, 18 years, 01, 02.
I would say it started like, 02 is about right.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say the first grime tune was?
I can't say what the first grime tune was.
Yeah, you can.
No,
you're a DJ. You still play it now.
I can't because.
What would you say? What defined it? Because obviously, that period was technically
exactly
UK garage / grime.
Exactly. It was underground garage, and it was crews, and then it was. Everyone had their own name for it. Esky and Sublo and Murky. And
Remember Sublo? Johnny Cash.
Nang.
It's like Johnny Cash.
Told Johnny Cash he was grimy. He would definitely not have that.
Nah, it was Sublo.
Sublo-matic.
I remember my Johnny Cash dubs. I need to try and find them, man.
Yeah.
Do a grime set, one off.
Yeah, so to say when the first grime tune was is really kind of a myth because...
In my head, it was post-sex, though.
But bare people would not think that was grime.
What?
Garage era. Like, grime didn't exist. And they will tell you they didn't make, like, youngster will say he didn't make grime stuff.
And post-X was grime, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know what else was grime?
But then you can go back and go, all right, cool, what was So Solid? Whoa. Because that was like a loop over and over.
Yeah, but it was more garage.
It was more garage, but
yeah, it was garage.
post-X was skippy as well in the other bit.
Nah, man, that's grime, though. That's how it started. That side of it.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just progressing.
What year did Wookie's Storm come out?
Oh my life!
Because that's what I'm actually thinking. I'm thinking, all right, yeah, Wookie's Storm.
Do you know what?
Maybe.
Grime was the result of bare people reacting to other people. Because Wookie will tell you he made Storm as like a counteraction to 138 Trek. And 138 Trek wasn't even garage, it was breakbeat.
Different sound.
And like all them tunes that were being made that became like, because dubstep and grime came from like the same place, innit? They were birthed from the same thing.
From garage.
And if you used to listen to crew sets back in the day, you'd hear all the tunes that kind of gave birth to those sounds, like
in one
Groove Chronicles and Oris J and Zed Bias.
Jesus.
And then also like Agent X.
Oh man, what was Oris J's big tune called? Bigging Up the Massive.
Bigging Up the Massive, but he also had he made tunes under the name Dark One as well.
Oh
So a tune called Nocturnal.
Bringing back memories. I remember them instrumentals. They used to run like house
and
party
then you had, like,
days.
all the breakbeat tunes like Devastate and what was the other one?
What the sounds of this music will be devastating to your ears.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are the best.
Them type of tunes. What were they? They weren't grime.
What?
Devastate was breakbeat.
Nah, man, we need to get a tune up.
It was a breakbeat.
When I leave here, I'm gonna listen to the tune. Can we get a tune up?
If I got a signal down there, I'll definitely put it.
Yeah, but we need to pull up tune car. In my head, I remember MC spitting to that.
They were
as
definitely spitting to
that was like a reload tune back then.
It definitely was as well.
So, like for me, as far as I'm concerned, Grime's already started. Oh, I hear you a little bit. I hear that.
That is proper garage crew music.
As far as I'm concerned, yeah, that's the origins of grime.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, that's the
origins.
origins.
100%. I would never argue with you.
Yeah.
But like for me to say, oh, this is the first grime tune, that's bare difficult, bro, because it was like creeping along.
What, you ain't asked that question to whoever else was before me?
No.
Oh man.
We're just talking.
Logan, man.
Just talk about
that's really important. I'm gonna have to start asking people what was the first grime tune. What do you think everyone's gonna say?
I don't know, man. Depends how old they are. Depends what they were listening to. Depends where.
Yeah. We are kind of getting on now, aren't we?
What was Master Step's melody?
Doom 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 doom. Yeah, it was garage. I feel like there's a borderline where you could tell, but I hear that.
Yeah.
We went off in our separate paths.
Yeah.
So really and truly, we owe everything to garage.
Of course we do. It's all come from garage. So, but then you had like all the people that got into garage from jungle and drum and bass, then kind of bringing a bit more drum and bass to the tunes. A bit more of the darkness, a bit more of the bounce, definitely more of the bass. And it stopped. It moved it further and further away from house and garage to just garage, and then underground garage, and then it was a new thing.
It's mad, bro. Like, see, if you had a timeline of how it's evolved,
it's like a family, like it's
from
like
the
a family
90s.
tree.
It's mental, and people realize that everything's come from like there. It's mad, bro.
Like house and jungle got married, and underground garage was the Ute. And then garage, then grime and dubstep was that
became that
kid. So yeah, it's all together.
And grime basically has birthed a lot of what's out there now.
Of course it has.
Whatever you want to call half them genres that's flowing about. Bro, I can't. You know what? I can't keep up. Every minute I'm hearing a new thing. Like I just don't even pay attention to it no more. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like
it's great though to be in a position
it's
where
good commercial music, but it's not
where we can just say, black music is running
dominating
things in the UK. It's like black music is gone in the UK, and doesn't really matter what the genre is. You might get a different sound every year, but these artists are coming through and seeing success.
They're doing well. They're banging. They're actually cracking on. And
whereas when we started out, it was almost impossible to even like get shows on, go out. Man's tours are getting cancelled.
What's good now is they are like the definition of what will be essentially the future. No matter, even though what they're doing is going to change names a million times, they're set up. Like they're coming out, they're doing their thing, and they're being allowed to build as artists. And now it's about the UK now, which is good. Like that wasn't around before. Before we weren't getting the same shine that everyone's getting now.
Yeah, so look at all the artists that are getting brought out to Drake shows that are happening at the moment at the O3.
O3, mad in it.
Yeah.
Got them to change the sign. That's powerful there.
But I bet different people getting brought out.
Yeah, bro. So. You have to, though, because that's what it's at. If you come to the UK, you've got to now pay homage and respect the UK.
Yeah, I like that.
Which was never happening before. So it shows how far the music's come.
Did you used to mix in your yard?
All the time, man.
Yeah.
Man, belt drives started on. What belt drives did I have? It was, I can't remember. They were from Richard Sounds anyway.
Belt drives were the worst.
They were the worst to learn on.
You thought you could mix. You thought you could mix. You'd have belt drive decks in your yard, and you thought you could mix. And then you went and tried to mix on Techniques, and it was like you'd never mixed before.
I had Techniques, though, by 15, luckily.
Yeah.
So that transition period. I was
Rich boy! How'd you get them?
I can't even remember, brother. I was doing some kind of hustle at the time. See, I've been hustling from day one. I was doing something at the time which allowed me to save up and buy Techniques.
I didn't have Techniques until I was like 20.
Yeah. I figured out something anyway. Got Techniques. Once I had them, I learned how to mix. And then, yeah, cracked on. Onto different radio stations.
Wicked.
Driving around.
Pirate radio was mad, bro.
Pirate radio was the best.
What's your best pirate radio story? What's the maddest thing that's ever happened to you on pirate radio?
Maddest?
Yeah.
Can't remember. But I've had some funny times in pirate radio, like 20 man on the set, like clashing. Who was I clashing? Mez reminded me this the other day when I called Vectra Gold Dust on Rinse. Like those are like good times.
Yeah.
On radio. Like you're never gonna forget them times. Sick times. Even Spyro. So me and Spyro had a little clash on Rinse. Oh man. Those are the best days, man. Like they were, maybe it's because I was all younger and like teens turning into like early 20s, but they were like fun days, man. Like I reminisce on them days and think, yeah, man had fun. Like man was even earning peas, man was just having fun.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I was gonna say, like for a moment, I was thinking, yeah, like back then it was really all you thought about, it was all you cared about. Like you didn't really have any other distractions. It was just the music.
Yeah, there were no distractions.
It
was all about the love back then.
But really, that's the same for you now, because all you really focus on is music now. You don't have any other distractions now. But I suppose you do have
responsibilities, kids and that. Like it's a different situation.
If it flops, there's pressure on you. Stress.
Yeah, it's just stress if it don't go wrong. Back then, you're living at home, mum and dad. You got no bills to pay.
What's the biggest disaster event you've ever tried to put on that was a massive flop, and why did it not work?
Flops of events.
Yeah.
What do you mean by flops? Is in like financially or people?
You choose.
There's been financial ones where I've gone into venues that got a huge cost, and the break evens for those venues are super duper high. But you know what the funniest thing is? Every show I've lost loads of money on, if you was the raver in that show, you'd think it was the best rave you've been to.
Okay.
So
we can't call them a disaster.
So you can't call them a disaster. They had the upside.
Have you had any disasters though?
Disasters. I'm gonna say no.
Never.
I don't feel like I've had a disaster. Like, I don't feel like, yeah.
Touch wood.
Like, have I had a rave? No, I didn't. They tried to cancel one of my parties a couple of years ago. The licensing police said to the venue, proper racist. What is this doing in your club? And obviously this was a house event, but obviously
that's the man up Marylebone.
Yeah, that's obviously they've separate division. This was City of London licensing said to the venue, what's this doing into your party? And obviously they're just referring to the black side of the music, which I just went crazy. I started tweeting about it and all sorts.
Did you see the recent report that they had on music venues in London and how it's disproportionately biased against
It is. I'm on the
black
panel.
music?
For
Yeah.
it. Like, it's
Who's
a joke.
on the panel?
Yeah, man, it's on the panel. Yeah, it's a joke. Like, if I could talk about that's mad, bro. Like, you can forget about the fact that people know about the districts and that might not let you in because of your colour, but they're not letting artists and promoters into certain venues because of your colour, and that is mental. Like, I can't almost fathom it. Like, in this day and age, that's still happening. Like, you're saying you don't want a party to go on because of a certain demographic of people that are going there, and I think, fucking hell, man. Like, how now? This is still happening. But anyway, I almost had a party get cancelled, but luckily another venue saved me. So, touch wood.
One disaster.
No disasters.
Have you had any artists that were disasters? Like,
Yes. Oh,
yes,
mate.
Here we go.
You know, yeah. Yeah. One time, yeah, in a Malia show, this is a mad story. Wiley got on the plane. Imagine a man gets on a plane. The plane doors are shut.
Yeah.
And he's had a wobble on the plane and said he wants to get off. Yeah. Top T, who was DJ at the time, said it took them more time to get out of the airport from that than it did to fly to Greece from England. That was the maddest no show I've had from someone. Where I thought
to get off the plane.
Mad, got off the plane.
What's the most, without naming names, what's the most ridiculous thing someone's asked for when they've arrived at a venue?
A concoction of drugs. I'm not even naming names.
That's normal though.
Nah, man, this was like a big
when you
list.
do house raves, that's definitely normal.
This wasn't a house rave.
It's not normal for me. I'm
This
straight edge.
This was like a list of like
shopping
diazepam, Valium, Coke. Like, this was a big list, bro.
Mental.
When I saw the list, I thought, "You're not serious, bro." And he said, "I'm not going on without it."
I'm taking serious.
He said, "I'm not going on." Yeah. Figure it out, man. As a promoter, I've been asked so much different randomness as a promoter, and I kind of feel sometimes you got to make it work because every artist is different, innit? They might need something to go on, so whatever, innit?
Show must go on, right?
Show must go on at all times. Trust me. But yeah, I've had madness. Like, in raves, like, man, I've put champagne bottles over the decks, like, sprayed champagne and on a hype.
And the decks
It's over the decks. It's turned off, bro. Like, where do we go there with 2,000 people in a dance? It's madness.
Thought you had spares.
But believe it or not, you know that clubs don't have spares. Like,
no, them decks are not cheap, bro.
they're not. They don't. They've got 3 decks, and they're usually on the thing. And worst case, they'll be able to go to room 2. I think what we did, one of them was working.
Yeah.
So the DJ's playing on one deck for ages. Figured it out somehow.
Didn't get a room 2 deck.
They had to have. Yeah, pull out a room 2 deck.
That's wild.
Like little thousands. It's only now that clubs have kind of got 2,000 in every room. Before, they used to have like 2,000s in the main room.
I stopped cutting dubs when I did 3 bookings back to back, and they didn't have decks anywhere in the building.
Or was it vinyl decks?
Yeah. I'm cutting dubs, going to do shows. I think one of them was a rave in Leicester. and I turn up with my dub plates, and I'm cutting vocals on dub, everything on dub, and I'm ready to play, and they've just got them dead tray loading CDJs.
Oh man!
For like Disco Dave to play the latest.
I swear those CDJs didn't even have pitch on them.
Yeah, they did, but the pitch was like this long.
Oh.
So it was like plus, like you nudged them and it was going like. I don't know how anyone mixed on them because it was mental. They had the little jog wheel that was like that big.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
Because they had them at Rinse. They were the first CD decks they had at Rinse.
You're talking about the ones where you go like this to move.
Yeah.
Mad.
They didn't have a platter like the CDJs now. They had a little wheel, and you had to spin the wheel, and it made it speed up or slow down a bit.
You know what? Yeah. See that era of music?
Yeah.
I feel like, forget about just grime. I feel like the whole music era was lost. I feel like we was in such a big transition phase. No one knew what was going on because those pieces of apparatus, to mix on, they should have even seen the light of day, let alone be in studios and in raves.
That was like Nang technology them times, though.
Yeah, man, they thought they was onto a winner.
That was sick technology.
Pioneer.
Do you know what was jokes? It was 2 separate bits as well. You put the CDs in one bit,
and then another bit,
and then the other bit was the control.
Yeah, Pioneer thankfully fixed that. Yeah, man, good on Pioneer, mate.
Give thanks.
Yeah, mate. Saved us, saved us, mate.
They saved us because, yeah, bro.
Otherwise, we'd be mixing on. Ching.
Yeah, so I did 3 bookings back to back, and I couldn't play because I didn't have turntables.
Well, you never had.
I turned up with vinyl, and they.
No, you never. Oh yeah, it was back then. USB one of the things, so your things weren't even on CDs. Oh man.
Turn up my record box.
Real DJ turns up, and then the club can't even facilitate. Oh mate.
Then I used to start turning up with all my stuff on spindles because no one had the USB decks. They had the 1000s. So I had to have a spindle of CDs.
I remember that. I got a spindle in my car right now.
Yeah.
Of like old stuff that I found at my mum's.
Oh, sick.
Like,
Jack that right this minute.
I'm going to go through it because there's some gems on there. So
I'm
going to
go I need all them old Da Vinci tunes. Because there's bear that weren't on his...
I've got most of them. I've got most of them. Find them. But he must have most of them.
He don't have them. I've asked.
Oh, man. Don't worry. Ring me later. I'll see if I can find them.
I'm in there. Where's Eskimo Dance going next?
Eskimo Dance, where's it going next? I don't want to do too much.
Oh, bro, come on. I need some shows, mate.
I know, but you know what?
Times
I've realised Grime's now gone back to where it was originally, where the ravers would go there. They like Grime, thank God. The sheep have gone. Because there was like a period of time where... I love Grime! Yeah.
What tunes you like?
Yeah, there was that period. Yeah. So that period's gone. So now I sort of need to be careful to not do too much going on. Because it's not like there's a scene where you're going out every week and there's a Grime rave. There isn't. So got to sort of give the cities, especially the regional ones, a special reason to be coming out. And plus, half of the bloody MCs... they're in tour cycles, so I need to work around that. There's so many different elements to it. But I think I'm going to do Birmingham, Manchester, Bristol, and maybe London this year or London early next year.
So just one big super show in London a year.
Yeah, man. I don't feel like it don't need... Well, there's a secret that I can't even let it go, but yeah. Can't let it go, but for Eskimo, one big show a year, maybe 2 in London.
Is Grime in a place where it can be put on at Summer Islands?
I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I don't just mean that MC comes out and does 15 minutes of PAs and then they go back to Robin and Show Me Love for the rest of the night.
No. I'm going to make it happen. I've always had this dream, of doing a Grime music festival abroad for people like Grime, and I'm gonna make it happen. So it happens.
Can you start out with just a grime event though, like a club night, please?
Yeah, of course.
Can you start one of them this year? Can you do that?
Can't even do it this year. It's too late.
Oh, bro, of course you can. Just
Can't.
throw
You know what?
away
If there's
midweek.
anything that I've learned as a
Throw away
promoter
midweek, bro. You can promote
is
it.
you can't.
No one's even
Planning
there.
is important.
No one's even
Bro,
there.
do you know when I first started here, I used to...
You must have a Wednesday night that you're not using.
I don't. Yeah. And imagine that. Like, when I started doing raves, I used to... The turnaround time between then and the raves, obviously it was a bit amateur. That man was like knocking out raves like 2 months promo time or build up time, whatever. Now you need like... I'm already planning for next year.
All right.
And we're in April.
All right, we'll plan for next year.
So-
I want some stuff, Summer Islands. Grime,
Yeah, man.
Please.
Gonna make it happen.
Because Dave and Tony love a bit of grime, mate.
Yeah, man.
Ooh,
They
yeah.
want to go on holiday to it
Ooh,
and have a little rave up.
Yeah, maybe just one night. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, man, I'm going to do it as a proper festival, bro. Like, a proper thing. Like, 5 days, grime, sun.
Where could you do that? What country?
I can't say. Someone's going to steal the idea. Yeah.
They're going to steal it already.
No, they're not. No chance. Yeah. You need to be like, you need to be in the know. You need a good venue.
Ain't got the connects.
Yeah, they ain't got to connect like that. So,
I hear you.
yeah, gonna do that.
What else we got? What do you want to do? Like, what's if you won the quadruple rollover lottery
Yeah.
and could put on anything you wanted? What's the dream show for you?
If I won the lottery, I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing. What? It sounds boring,
What's the dream
innit?
show for you anyway? Like, forget the lottery. What's the dream show for you? Like,
Dream
what
show?
would you like to be able to do one day?
My dream show, yeah, for Eskimo would be to have everyone on there again in one show. And we've got pretty close to that. So I feel like I've done it. Obviously, we ain't really done it, but it's close, innit? So that's the dream show. Or to have that dream show maybe in like Jamaica or America rather than England.
Have you taken
everyone on
Eskimo to South by Southwest yet?
No.
Okay.
They asked, but it wasn't right.
All right.
Maybe next year.
Should hit up a sponsor, corporate sponsor.
Yeah, mate.
Cover the costs.
Could have worked. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Should have run.
Logan with the ideas.
You get me? Never spend
Get
your
me.
own money, bro.
That's what I do, man. And then it goes up, down, you know it is.
Spend it now, make more later. Eh?
Yeah, that's the hope.
That's the truth.
That's the hope, mate.
No one ever was rich. Actually, that's a lie. I hate saying things that are lies. Most people that end up rich have to go for a period of being poor at some point
Yeah, man, that's
to
him.
build something.
Being at zero, yeah, is important part of learning curve. Like,
Yeah. I didn't want to. I stopped myself because there's bare people that have just inherited money and, you know, a man like
Yeah.
Donald Trump getting loans and that and starting a business and just getting richer. But like people that genuinely start from the ground and become rich definitely have to experience a period of time of being
Of zero.
broke. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you need that because that gives you a drive. Like,
To stay away from that.
Just-
Never
yeah,
to
stay away
not be
from
there
that.
ever again.
like my most creative time was being there or on zero, like during the music phase. So
It don't even have to be
gives you
money wise either.
teach you a
like,
lesson.
you can be on zero in your personal life, like relationship wise, family, all kinds of things,
yeah.
man. Like,
Gives you a different mindset, innit?
definitely does, bro.
Trust.
But yeah, thank you very much for talking to me.
Are we done?
Yeah,
Oh man, that was couple, man. We could talk for hours, bro.
we could talk for hours, but I'll talk to you again.
Oh yeah,
That's the
what you saying?
beauty of this format.
Round 2, yeah.
That is the beauty of this format. We can just talk again another time about other stuff.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
But thank you very much.
Safe.
Where, there's this tracksuit on sale because I've never seen it before.
Oh yeah, look, Eskimo Dance tracksuit.
Can they buy that or is it a...
When's
A
this going out?
sample. This will go out on Monday.
It's a sample, but I'm gonna put it on. It's gonna happen.
Yeah?
I've been sitting on like merch for so long.
Yeah.
I've had these samples for 6 months, and it's only I gave you the camouflage one at
Yeah.
Printworks.
I was wearing that on the last episode, mate.
See, save. Oh yeah, I see that rude kid.
No, that was...
Or was it Devlin?
I
Ah,
think that was
sorry.
Devlin.
I knew I see it.
It was the same building though, so...
Oh yeah, it looked
they
similar.
look similar.
Hey that. Right. Well, yeah. By
Follow-
Monday.
Follow at the Eskimo Dance
Yeah,
on
man.
Twitter and Instagram.
EskimoDance.co.uk.
And yeah.
Get the merch.
So you're going to be taking it to Birmingham, Manchester, Bristol,
London.
this year.
Hopefully. Maybe London. It's hard to say, you know, because like...
Have you got Bristol, Manchester and Birmingham confirmed already?
They're good to be confirmed.
All right.
Yeah, they should happen. If they don't happen, only 2 or 3 will happen. But definitely 2 out of 3 is going to happen this year.
Okay.
It's important.
We're taking Eskimo Dance on the road.
We're on the road again.
Thank you very much for talking to me.
Safe, fam.
Appreciate it.
Safe.
Good luck with 4th place this season. I would like Arsenal to get 4th.
4th? Bruv, we're getting 3rd. What are you talking about? Bruv, why is it... I've had this conversation, yeah, with, like, friends of mine who were like, where you lot are the 6th best team in the league, and we're not.
I think if you lot get top 4, that'll be a good season for Mr. Emery.
3rd, bruv. Yeah? 3rd. Listen, what day are we? 3rd of April.
Yeah, it's 3rd of April.
All right, cool. So
3rd.
what? So yeah, 3rd. Yeah. I'll bet you 10 mate. Yeah.
Cheers.
Safe.
All right. Don't forget, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can, of course, check the audio out on Spotify, SoundCloud, and that's one day when they let me on their iTunes. And if you're listening to us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or iTunes, you can watch the video on YouTube. Check out Keeping It Grimy on YouTube. There's a bunch of other stuff on there as well as the podcasts. I'll be carrying on putting more content up there. You're going to get more sets, more videos, more vlogs, all that good stuff if I stop breaking my cameras. But yeah, thank you very much, Cheeky. And
Safe,
have a nap now. You're getting very horizontal.
I'm not. It's comfy on this sofa, you
He's
know.
getting back into the business. He's got work to do.
Nah, man, I'm done for the day.
Business to get done.
I'm trying to take breaks now.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Cheers,
man.
mate. Nice one.
Safe.